on, so I got a special treat for you guys. I'm here with Michael Sizemore, Water Forest Aquatics, or just Water Forest?
We just do Water Forest Aquatics.
All right, Water Forest Aquatics. He's got a YouTube channel, he's got a Facebook group, and his skills are awesome. His aquascaping skills are just crazy. So enough of me rambling on. Let me show you what he's got going on. Like, this is nice. So check this out. This is when you first come into the living room. He's got these 3 beautiful tanks right here. And as well, many of you guys may not know this. I haven't even talked about it a whole lot. Threw some hints out to a few of you guys may have picked it up. But I am in the large tank competition, and this is who's going to drive us, as well as Danny Adams and Hantron.
We're going to wreck them, Wrecking Crew. That's the Wrecking Crew.
Tanks right here. He's got a bowl up there, just absolutely gorgeous. I like the touch of the rock too. Real natural area. Loving this living room. And a lot of people know you pretty well on Facebook for this tank, just the beauty of it and everything.
The color, and about not near as bright and colorful as it was at one time. Just got to be too much to keep up with the growth.
Still looks like candy to me.
Every 3 days I have to trim and replant. So
yeah,
that
every
got
3 days. Every 3 days.
No,
that's a lot of maintenance.
No, once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week, pull and cut the plants down and replant. Maybe move them around until I find something that looks good.
Yeah, that's why I try to keep my growth slow in my fish room, because I just couldn't keep up with that kind of maintenance. But wow, it really shows just look at, man, I don't even know what to say. Just look at the cardinals, the colors on the Lipnophilia aromatica. That's definitely one of my favorites.
That's one I've had probably in that tank probably for the last 5 years, and just constantly cutting and replanting to the point where I've probably got one of the pure probably stems of that right now. It's hard to get them with that.
Of the aromatica?
They're as red as they get. They'll get probably double that color.
Yeah.
Once they
I've seen them get
more.
super purple without CO2 and just our city tap water.
Well, it seems like you run into a lot of people that you'll get the Limno aromatica, then you got the Limno heparoides. And there's a little bit of a color variant between the two, but yeah, it's nice color though. The Rotella Rams that are next to it's pretty nice. Got a nice red color. Naturally red, but hit it with a lot of light and the right nutrients, CO2, and it just gets bright red.
So let's talk about this setup a little bit. What do you got going on for the lights? And your filter and like.
Yeah, lighting.
People are going to want to know what all these little gadgets are.
All kinds of gadgets. No, the lighting is a 2-part lighting. The back lighting here was going to be, it's a Finex 24/7 that I only run 100% whites and a little bit of red to help the reds kind of pull through. And then the front 2, which is this light, is actually the Chihiro's brand. The RGB, the true red, green, blues, that I also run in both those fixtures on together for 5.5 hours a day. Never exceed that. I don't need to, because with the kind of growth I get, there's no sense in add any more light to the cycles. So.
And yeah, you guys heard that right. He said 5.5 hours. When he first told me he ran all his tanks at 5.5 hours a day, he's telling me that they don't kick on until evening. And I'm like, well, when do they shut off? Because it was late evening. He's like, well, I only run them 5.5 hours. I'm like, you just blew my mind. I've never heard of anybody doing that. And well, you see the results. It's amazing.
I like to enjoy them, so might as well have them on while I'm home.
Right.
And then it's a lot easier to notice deficiencies. And occasional fish dies off and get it out before it causes problems. So But I'm a plant guy first and a fish guy second.
And this is Brightwell substrate you got going on here.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a drop checker here.
Drop checker,
What's
the
this?
Chihiro's Doctor Plant Super is advertised to be an algae inhibitor, but widely accepted as a device to add more oxygen to your water. And I do it just add more oxygen to the water column so I can bump up the CO2 without stressing the fish or causing them to gas or possibly even die. So
I love how your wave maker's working in here. If you guys look at these plants, now this is really crucial when it comes to growing nice healthy plants.
gentle sway.
See how they all got this nice little gentle sway, this little breeze running through them.
It's a nice natural effect, and it works well for them, keeping detritus from collecting on the plants. That way you can actually see, get a good view of what your plant actually looks like without being covered with a bunch of junk and whatnot. But yeah, the wave maker is nice. I mean, that's you got to have that extra flow, and it gives me some agitation for the service to help pump in even more oxygen with your gas exchange. So
Yeah.
it's a must-have. I have power heads in all the tanks and surface agitation with all of them, and very little algae, which I don't care who you are, you're going to have algae in a plant tank, no matter what you do.
It's all part of the environment.
You can't beat it. You just got to learn to live with it.
Right. And let's see, your hardware down here, you got some CO2 going on. Looks like a high door filter. And there's all his CO2, or all his timers for CO2, all that.
Manually dosing, that way I've got the most control over what I add to the tanks, and I take a variable out, and the only variable is if I'm late adding first. So
Yeah.
everything else is on timers. All lighting is on timers. CO2 on timers. So very little interaction. So with having flip lights on and off.
Now I like how you got skimmers on all your tanks.
Yeah, it's
definitely beneficial.
a lot of people have to deal with that with planted tanks. You'll get a little film on the surface. It doesn't happen with every planted tank, but agitation helps reduce it. But the skimmers are really I consider must-have for all my planted tanks.
Since I keep a lot of low-tech tanks and don't have a lot of the hardware, biofilm is often one thing I gotta try to keep from building up with plants.
Yeah, that can get to the point where it kind of screws you up on your gas exchange with your tank. Letting O2 in and CO2 out.
Captures it in there.
Yeah, you can get locked up, and you can get too much CO2 in your tank.
That's why I have those deli cup lids.
Yeah.
I actually started floating some of my airlines now just to be able to break them up.
And there's
These are nice filter hardware here too.
Yeah, I like the glass or paint in the butt to keep clean. That I meant to do this weekend, but I already cleaned a couple.
Yeah, it still looks good though. I could only imagine what it's like to clean those.
Oh man, you gotta worry about
Yeah.
breaking them. Could be grown at low light or whatever, and it just all thrives in the higher light. And
5.5 hours.
5.5 hours, 4 to 5 bubbles per second on my CO2. So I'm pushing.
Yeah, you see
I'm
all
probably-
the pearl in here going on.
Probably pushing 40 parts per million on the CO2. And like Lucas said,
And I noticed you don't have really any of your drop checkers going. You probably already got it all keyed, tuned in mentally, don't you?
if you spin around and show them, this one over here is my fancy
Right,
one.
I gotta go slow. People give me troubles about moving too fast sometimes.
But that's a
Makes
cool
them
one.
dizzy.
I've always wanted one of the glass ones like that. And
Is that the? Oh, I see. Okay.
then this one
There
just
it
hangs
is.
over the side.
Yeah.
You can see that those are kind of
Yeah.
cool to have.
Pretty unique. I have not seen those. I like that. Oh, there's the algae inhibitor going off. Looks pretty cool.
Like I said, it is more cool than
Functional.
functionality, but the
Yeah.
extra oxygen in the tank, it can only benefit the tank. So
Right.
You know,
It doesn't look like it's hurting anything.
No,
that's for sure.
no. They the fish and everything seem to love it. So.
Alright, so you got some more tanks than just these 3. How many tanks do you got all together?
What is this? I think we're right at 11, but I think 9 planted, or 8 or 9 planted. Yeah, right at 8 or 9 planted, I think, right now.
Nice.
It's a lot to keep up with sometimes. For me.
Well,
not Lucas.
Well, it's a little different when you got them at this kind of.
Lucas got 1,000.
The maintenance
tanks,
that goes into this tank is like 20 tanks.
It's
with all that trimming and manicuring.
Once a week, water changes, wipe the glass, and do a trim.
Right,
and
but you're not just dipping the hose and going though.
No.
Yeah, see, that's the one part. You're scraping and trimming.
50 minutes on this one.
Yeah.
30 minutes on this one. And 2 hours on this one every Sunday.
Yeah, see. And man, it's beautiful.
There's a little bit of time involved, but it's about how much you like your hobby and what you want to put into it.
So. That's the great thing about this hobby is there's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah.
Like there's so many ways to do it.
If you show them the Rotella plant I have here, that I just can't make myself. Cool. I can't make myself cut it because it's so cool once it breaks through the water.
Right. Oh, I'm with you. I've been growing some Hygrophilia augustifolia out of it because I want to flower it again.
But
I love it when plants do that.
When they break the water, you know, it's really cool.
Yeah, you can see these over here starting to break.
Even the moss.
Which one is this one right here?
That is the true Rotella indica.
Really?
Or other people you may use the name for it. Mania bonsai even.
Okay.
Or Rotella bonsai. There's 3 different names for it, but that's the truest form. If somebody ever sells you Rotella indica, that's if they don't buy that, that's not what they're getting. So, and you can be charged.
Oh yeah, you get that a lot in this hobby if you're not careful. Yeah. We try to bring awareness to that, and I'm glad you're the same way.
Yeah, there's no sense in. You got to be correct on what you're selling, or you sell something to somebody at a cost that you shouldn't be selling it for. Or,
it'll all come back to you.
It'll bite you in the end.
And why even bother with it?
The battling diatoms, this tank's probably a month and a half old, and I just finally got diatoms in it. So it'll run its course, maybe another week or more.
How long had the fish been in
there? The fish have been in there for 4 weeks, I think. It took a week to fish cycle.
How long has the tank been going?
What is
it took a week. You cycled in a week.
Yeah, the official cycling it.
Oh, I finally found a mono.
Did you find a mono?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get the diatoms all cleaned up. Now, he'll work on them.
Yeah.
He will put in work. There's
will.
another one in there. I think 2 is probably about the max limit for that tank, where they'll starve themselves. But I'll throw them some wafers every once in a while. Make sure they're getting good food, or even a cut piece of zucchini.
Yeah.
They'll come up much on that too. I'm sure algae eaters will love that stuff.
Now, see, he's already given me a quick tour of these, so that's why I was all ooh and wow earlier. I've seen him. I'm still ooh and wow, but I'm letting him tell his thing because he's the keeper of these masterpieces.
Hey, you gotta really love your hobby. That's all I can say.
You do. When you put the love in, I think that's where it all counts.
You gotta appreciate what you're doing, what other people do, and learn as much as you possibly can from everyone around you. Don't discount people.
For sure.
For the knowledge they got to share.
Right, because you never know.
Nope, you
never know what kind of nugget you'll get.
Absolutely.
Well, you want to go ahead and do the other fish?
Yeah, we can go and take a look at the angels real quick and maybe move over to the bedroom tank. So,
all right,
yeah.
Cool.
There we go.
All right, so now you know he's a true hobbyist when out in the back he's got some breeding tanks. You know you're addicted.
Yeah, you gotta have a touch of a breeder in you too, even though plants first, fish second. But the blue Pinoy angels, the last batch that I will breed, And I'm gonna move along here soon. Great color, easy to distinguish the male from female, real easy. The bars will tell you without a doubt which one's which. So
The bars, really? You go by the bars? Always went by the shape of their heads.
with these, that seemed to be the easiest way. You're probably 100% on male female. See if I can find, where's the big male at? He's in the background there, hiding somewhere. I think that's him right there, actually.
Because aren't the females got the rounder head, and then the males have more of the
Got more of a slope.
angler?
Yeah. Yeah, that was all those came from one male female pair that I got 2 years ago.
Did you get them from Ed Gray?
No, they actually came from Papa Rhino.
Oh, Papa Rhino.
Papa Rhino.
Shout out to Papa Rhino.
Shout out Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, he's got a channel too, doesn't he?
Yep, sure does. Papa Rhino Aquatics.
All right.
And a forum. PRA. Yeah, he's big. He's a discus guy. Big into discus guy.
Angels are beautiful. I miss my angel fish.
Oh, they're good. I like I said, I'll move them all except for the original male female, and that's where I'll stay. I'll keep them. I'll have to give them maybe give them a 60 or something, just to have of their own. All their fry in that tank too as well.
Yeah.
And they've all got some really nice coloration,
Great schoolers.
and they're ready to eat like always.
You got my kind of filtration going there.
Oh yeah, got it. Rock the
all there,
sponge filters. Easiest way to seed a new tank. That's
You
how
got a canister on the breeder though.
Yeah, I do. That sponge filter
I see it.
and the skimmer on that one too, because that will get oil on the surface too.
Always gotta have a backup empty tank. Very
Always,
handy.
yeah, ready to go.
That was your ultimate growing light, wasn't it?
Yeah, the ultimate growing light, the hydroponic, somewhere around 300 some par at 300 some par at probably 10 inches.
So why don't you run it anymore?
It's a plant growing beast.
Oh, so it's just hard to keep up with the maintenance.
Maintenance every
Yeah.
3 days, having to chop the tank completely down. Started taking a little bit of the enjoyment out.
Oh, I bet it becomes more of a labor than a love.
Yeah, when you can watch the plants grow in front of your eyes, it's a little bit different. Male-female pair of German blue rams.
Yeah.
Those were actually bred in tap water.
Nice.
And they still are by a private breeder out of New Jersey.
See, I've had them lay in tap water, but I've never had success with the eggs hatching. When I did mine.
That breeder he breeds them in both soft and hard water, so he calls them his tap rams. Very
Nice.
hardy. Was my most recent pair lived over 5 years. Most people can't keep them alive or struggle to past 6 months. So very hardy fish, and then plus keeping up on your water changes.
You got a shop light here?
Yeah, that little LED shop light I picked up
Oh, it's LED. That's pretty bright.
from Menards.
Oh, so you got a cover.
Yeah, little diffuser there. It's about 5 times as bright. Tried it without the diffuser, didn't work so good. Wanted to grow algae in the tank, so.
See, that's about as bright as most of my lights get.
Yeah, and that was, I think, $20 for that. That's a 48 inch. Not bad. Pull chain, or you can throw it on timer just as easy.
Alright, you got more tanks too, don't you?
A few more. My hand's pretty clean. I just washed my hands, or I wouldn't be jamming them in there, but they'll end up coming up. And
He's got one of my favorite fishes in here.
Pandagaras.
Apistogramma, what I consider the dog of the aquatic world.
Come on up.
Just because they act like dogs.
Oh, they're great little fish.
They're so fun. Very unique with their mouth and everything. Just their behaviors.
They get used to you. You can put your hand in the tank and they'll come over and they'll clean on your hand. It's pretty cool. With Papa Rhino's tank, he had, I don't know, maybe a dozen in there. And he put his hand in the tank. When he did, they just kind of clomped on his hand.
Oh, that's
To
awesome.
clean it.
That's awesome.
20 gallon lawn grow out. This is where I place some plants for rebounding or just to grow out a few more, or and move on to a different tank or whichever. So, and that needle leaf Java fern in there is just massive.
Yeah, it's getting big.
Just
Mine's
healthy.
been growing real slow lately.
And of course, this tank's got gas too. I hit it. It's got probably 2 bubbles per second CO2, and it gets. I dose it with a PPS Pro for a regimen. That's every day. So
And that's liquid or is that dry?
that's the liquid.
That's liquid.
Hit it with the liquid. 1 milliliter per gallon. So it makes for a nice little grow out or recovery tank for like the Bucephalandras. These are starting to grow back after they almost completely melted off, and will be some really nice boost plants once they come back around. That's an active tank. It's a fun little tank.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the 20Ls. 30Ls are even. They're a lot more fun.
And this Pelia, I don't know. I gotta show you guys that Pelia. It was ridiculous in
the other
that tank. Yeah.
I bet there's 10 pounds of it in that tank in there.
Just how tight it was and well cared for. Alright, so I said it was sold to him as mini Pelia. It looks kind of like coral Pelia. Or they could be both. I don't know.
It kind of overtaken.
But just look how healthy and tight and compact that stuff is. It's absolutely beautiful. What do you call it? Pelia rocks?
Yeah.
It's kind of like what it looks.
Yeah, it's pretty dense.
Like growing up out of the tank.
You probably couldn't poke your finger through it.
Can I poke it?
Yeah, poke.
Oh, holy cow, it is like a rock.
It's dense, right?
That is absolutely amazing.
And
That is what trimming.
what's fun about that is you can take that once it's grown to that. Once it's grown to that density, you can trim it up however you want to. Cut angles into it. You can even use an X-Acto knife to carve sections out of it.
Yeah, you were saying earlier that you're marking on the tank with the marker to kind of escape and mold it.
Yep, just a guideline, just a guide to kind of how I might want to do it. Do that from time to time. You can use a dry erase marker anyway. Put a few marks on there. You're just kind of an idea that popped into your head how maybe you might like it. Maybe next day it's different though.
Right, that's the beauty part about it growing out is you can change it up.
And there's other moss in there too. There's the weeping moss, mini Pilias, or mini Poseidons is also in there. There might be also maybe some peacock moss in there somewhere. Right, I think maybe that could be it there as well. And most of that stuff.
Peacock and weeping can look awful alike depending on the parameters and the setup.
What's funny about that, the weeping moss, it hitched in on one of the boost plants. I happened to notice it, and I pulled a sprig off and plugged it into the rock. And
it only takes one strand. Now what? Okay, I gotta ask you this. Now, when you are trimming all this up, you do have different. Like say, you got a huge thing of Pelia here and a huge thing of mini Physidum. When you're trimming all that up, how do you keep them from not entangling each other?
The Pelia will overtake any other moss in that tank, so it's more or less. I try to pull it. I try to pull it using plant tongs. I can get big chunks.
Okay, so you go through and you kind of comb through and get all the pieces out of it. Okay.
You wanna not break it up in small pieces because then it gets in the tank and it will take off anywhere it lands.
Right. See, that's what I always wondered, how people maintained and controlled that.
Like that Pelia is more or less a Riccia of sorts. So
right.
And some people hate it, some people love it, and some people just put up with it. I guess I put up with it at this point. But
oh, it's beautiful.
You can shape it very easily. And it needs to be cut way back, but that's something we're saving for an upcoming trip to Chicago. So.
All right.
Yep. He's real skittish. If he thinks I've got food, he'll come
I see him. Here he comes. Here, fishy, fishy.
Apistogramma honsloy. A male and 2 females in this tank.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah, he's a skittish one.
Got some nice color.
There he goes. Oh, there he goes. He's trying to show off a little bit. I never get him to color. He's showing a little bit of color. If I had better lighting, would show his color quite a bit better. Some of the females are kind of plain Jane almost to an extent.
Got a lot of color. There's some black and yellow on her.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the moss is growing in the back.
Oh, that's just kind of found its way up the back wall. I think it's Java moss, I would have to think. There's another little female right up front. She's hiding right there. Look at her. She's tucked into the subwasher tank. Now she's gone.
Yeah, we were showing you guys that Pelia, that mini Pelia.
The subwasher tank. That's pull out handfuls a week. Really cool moss.
That is some broad subwasser tank.
But it's really cool. I got that.
Yeah.
I used to have
great
it
for breeding. Egg scatterers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man. Which if they do hatch out fry in there and I can't get the male, the fry should be able to get into the subwasher tank and they'll be on their own. But I probably have to change the water up a little bit before I get good eggs out of them. I've not got any fry yet.
This is a double rack here, and you got this one down here.
My original 10-gallon tank from where I got back in the hobby, I don't know, 12 years ago. You definitely don't get the mat cleaner too close to the silicone because you're worried about spraying a leak. But it's got a life of its own. 2 different types of moss, and then the yellow neos just run that tank. And there's probably 5 or 6 assassin snails in there. And the fry just there's probably, I don't know, it's hard telling how much fry may actually be in that tank at one time. They're like game busters in there. And that's another one, like I was telling you, is a low TDS on that, not hard water.
Yeah, I was surprised.
And they breed successfully no heater.
So he's keeping neos under 150 TDS. And they've been breeding in here for him. He said he doesn't supplement it with calcium either.
No supplements, and you can see the fry.
Neos, I tell you what, they are hardy. I often joke with people, you can hit them with a hammer and they'd still live.
Yeah,
it's just getting a good source of them.
Great shrimp to have for your tank. Great shrimp to have. Did you see Aquarium filter? Which these are great filters. They get discounted HOV filter, but the moss growing.
Yeah.
That took hold of its own. It just made its way up through the filter and then took off all on its own, and that's a Sizemore moss. That kind of took over. Moss wall kind of did that all on its own.
I love it when it does that. Very nice. Yeah, I love how you have that tops on the tanks. That's my kind of style.
I like that. Just for viewing purposes is really nice to have access, not having to fiddle with glass lids.
Oh yeah.
And then how you cover up too much of your tank with the lid, you don't allow it to breathe the way it needs to. Your gas exchanges, you can trap gases and create a harmful buildup by using lids if you cover too much of the tank. Just an old fluval, 6-gallon fluval edge with the top removed.
I love the lights you got on here.
And after aquatic experience, I'm going to tear it down and actually try to aquascape this one.
Nice.
Not for sure what I'll do
I'll
with
be
it.
excited to see that.
Be a lot of fun. You just have to fish out all the shrimp, and which are hard to even find in there because it's so thick. But
Like
They're in
fish
there.
and shrimp.
Used to have, used to keep scarlet batis in that tank.
What are these? Little ceramic tubes?
I had those. I picked those up a while back. Supposedly breeding tubes,
Okay.
I guess. Which I've never seen a shrimp go near them. So.
Yeah, they'd probably rather breed all up in this stuff.
Oh, I mean, if I was a shrimp, that's where I'd be.
Right, me
All up
too.
in the mix.
Right?
Yep, absolutely. This little plant holder here has got what do we call that? I think it's a type of Riccia to an extent, but it's
Yeah, looks like a pillion tank.
coral moss.
Oh.
Coral moss. That's
Well,
what it
isn't
is.
that... Well,
It
no.
creeps and stays low. It
So-
looks like the pilia.
But this looks more like coral.
Yeah, that's that pilia that.
But it's the same thing?
Yeah, but this stays more low and it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow to the extent that the mini pilia does. As far as the big clumps and the dense grow, it more or less stays low and creeps. So that's nice to add on rock and let it crawl and grow up on your heart shape. Of course, you gotta have the patience to allow it to do it too.
Right.
So, number
Yeah,
one
but-
thing was what is that? Patience.
Yeah. Patience.
Patience
So
with your tanks. Don't rush.
That's for sure.
Allow them to grow in and do what they do. That's just that tank now is just another little grow out tank for plants or mosses that I may want to pull for any one of the other tanks too.
Nice. And you got some bowls too. Let's check those out. Those are pretty cool.
What's that?
I gotta get these magazines
Oh,
in
no.
here.
Amazonas.
I love how you got the Amazonas right on the coffee table. That's awesome.
You got breeding material, you know.
Exactly.
For your interest, deep fish, aquascapes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in this hobby, especially planted tanks, that's the best magazine to get.
The aquatic gardener is another good one.
The Aquatic Gardener? I haven't heard of
Yeah,
that. Is that what this is?
The small one here. That's got some really nice aquascapes in it. I've got another one here too. But these you can actually buy back issues, and you can spend as much as $30 for the small magazine.
Holy moly.
Some
It's
of
got
the-
a bunch of different escapes in them and whatnot. Oh yeah, kind of hard to see on the camera. Right
Yeah,
now, but
it's a little dark in here.
cool. And I like this between your kitchen and your living room. So you got these bowls over here. It goes over to the tanks, and then you got a Michael. And tell us a little bit about these bowls, these vases. These are really cool.
A gentleman I met through Facebook, Joe Brunner, got me into the vases. And you can check Joe out at the Planted Vase, and he also has a store called the Planted Vase in Wichita. Yeah, Joe got me into these, and these vases just really grab your attention, and the possibilities you can are just kind of endless because they're all low tech. You can go high tech if you want to, but allow them to grow in slowly and fill in, and you got a really nice setup.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Love it.
That's the
Love the up and out of the water.
that Christmas moss growing on top of the.
And this
The,
looks like a regular plant you would find outside.
That come growing out of some pillow moss that I got up around the top of the stone.
Now, what's this one right here? This
That
little
is
kind of looks like a bulbous.
it's
something.
baby leaf bobitis.
Hmm.
The last small section that I've got that just grows extremely slow. I need to place it in a different
So you
area.
got some miniature rarities going on in here,
Oh, yeah.
don't you? And I really like this too, the spore ground plant.
Marsillier cronata.
Yeah.
Slow growing and low tech, but in time it'll spread and fill in nicely amongst the rocks and give a real nice effect.
There's got a decent. That's probably the biggest leaf in there.
It's starting to throw runners. Been in there for a few months.
You got flower beasts coming out.
Oh yeah, a lot of good things going on in there.
Yeah, a little, what kind of plants are these? Succulents, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Picked them up from a nursery in Kansas from a trip when I visited with Papa Rhino.
Those are nice.
Air plants are just awesome.
Rotec visiting cube bowl. Nice. Little shrimp haven over here.
So yeah, they're just the orange neos just breathe like crazy in there. I bet there's 80 or 90 in that little vase, and that is 8 inch in diameter and 12-inch tall. And they just run that like crazy. Needle leaf Java fern, several types of Bisophilandra in there taking off and growing well. Mosses, the mini wheat eater, Poseidons, a lot of different things doing really well in the Vortex setup.
Nice, nice. All cool stuff. Very cool. Oh, look at that. I can definitely tell this man loves the hobby. Alright, so there you have it. That's Michael Sizemore's. Oh, wait, can we turn off the TV real quick? Yeah. Alright, so there you have it. That's Michael Sizemore's fish rooms, tanks, and all that. Water Forest Aquatics. And anything you'd like to say to my people? Or anything you'd like to say to the world?
Follow Lucas.
Follow Lucas.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Don't worry about me. I appreciate that.
No, check my channel out. I have a few videos up that you're more than welcome to check out. So, and check out the Facebook group. You come check us out there and see what else we got going on. So, I think that's about it. I mean, I hope everybody enjoyed the tanks.
And we'll see you guys at AE.
Yep. AE.
Because I'll more than likely be doing some live streaming too.
While
we're doing the tank comp, so we'll bring you guys behind the curtain.
Absolutely, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned some things, and until next time, peace.
Peace out.